Hi, I'm Nathan Ninja Monkey. I make videos relating to Japan, looking into traveling and all things a potential tourist or visitor to the country might be interested in. I do the research so that you don't have to, and hope to point you in the right direction to make your trip a success. So, if you're interested in this and like my videos, you might want to consider subscribing and turning on the bell notification to keep up to date with any future videos. So a few articles have been making headlines this week which have caught my attention, but more than anything, this has once again reminded me that things are not set in stone and politicians can always change their minds. Yesterday's news is indeed old news, and today's news will be old news tomorrow. So, what do the articles say and why did I get so excited? The Japan Times said that Japan is considering issuing certificates to those who have been inoculated against the coronavirus. The ministers in charge of vaccine efforts said, as this might be needed as calls grow overseas for systems to ensure people can travel safely again. And this in fact seems to be the case in Europe. Just today, the European Commission has proposed an introduction of COVID passport to allow 450 million Europeans to travel freely by summer. So at first glance, I was hoping that the introduction of the vaccine would mean some sort of reopening of Japan using a sort of vaccine passport or evidence of antibodies anyway. But Kono stressed that he was not thinking about introducing such passports for travel within Japan, and that the discussion was around certification to allow the Japanese people to travel abroad. Hi, just a little side note, and that is that 91% of viewers to my channel are actually not subscribed. So if you like this content and you find it useful, then please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to have you as part of Team Ninja Monkey. I'd also love to get to know you better in the comment section below. So let's have a conversation down there. So back to the video. I personally find this quite strange to allow Japanese people to travel out of Japan using said vaccine passport, but not allow the same freedom for tourists to enter Japan and spend those valuable tourist yen that so many local businesses have been waiting for. And for those of you who might be watching thinking that the vaccine passport would exclude people who do not want to have the vaccine or can't have the vaccine, then perhaps the way that Europe is wording their digital green certificate will give you some hope. This is how Europe seems to be wanting to tackle the issue. Being vaccinated will not be a precondition to travel, the Commission said. All EU citizens have a fundamental right to free movement in the EU, and this applies regardless of whether they are vaccinated or not. The digital green certification will make it easier to exercise that right, also through testing and recovery certificates. So, the so-called digital green certificate in Europe, which should be free of charge to all European residents who can prove that they have been vaccinated, but also to those who have tested negative for the virus or have proof of antibodies. So my excitement as someone who's actually been vaccinated and received a proof of vaccination card from my country was squashed when I read that Japan wasn't in fact looking at allowing overseas tourists from using a vaccine passport to enter the country yet. But once again, it all boils down to one thing. When will Japan open, and will the politicians change their minds again? Just last month, Kone appeared to shoot down any idea of using COVID-19 vaccine certification for official purpose, including as a vaccine passport that would permit international travel. And just this week, there seems to be the possibility of some sort of U-turn, albeit for travel out of Japan of Japanese citizens. We can only hope that that U-turn will include safe travel into Japan sooner than the anticipated after the Summer Olympics or 2022. And as the country continues to receive more vaccines, we can only keep an eye on how it pans out and affects the reopening of its borders. So, once again, I'll continue looking at all news related to the reopening of Japan, keep you up to date and help you plan that perfect trip. I do encourage you check out some of my backlog of videos. I've travelled to Japan's main islands. I tend to go off the beaten path to places that tourists and even Japanese people haven't heard of. And of course, I visited most of the main tourist destinations. So, if you're looking at travelling to Japan soon, which you probably are if you're watching this video, then some of those videos might give you some insight and inspiration and ideas for where to go next. I'll link a playlist of some of my favorites to get you started. So that concludes the news recap. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's get a conversation started in the comment section below. And don't forget to like the video, as it tells YouTube that you're interested in this type of content, and it might even help my channel grow a little bit faster. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this information was interesting or useful, and I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye.